Good morning guys, welcome to my Flosstube. My name is Emily. I'm here to talk about my cross stitch. I think it's only been about a week since I last made a video, which for lately is quite good for me. Not much to report actually. Everything's been quite normal, quite fine. This week I've only got 4 days at work, which I'm taking. I'm going to be down at 35 hours this week instead of my normal sort of 43, 45. But you know what? I've been working 5 days a week for weeks and weeks, and I'm going to take a 4 just to have an extra day off, which I assume is probably today. Just to have a day to relax. Yesterday was backwards and forwards everywhere. Took the girls to school, came back, went to pick up the kids from school, came back, went to drop Austin back off, came back. Didn't actually get a lot of time to do anything in between. Did watch the 80th. There was a big thing down in Portsmouth in the UK here. A big celebration sort of thing for the 80th anniversary of D-Day, which was, I'm not usually around to watch daytime telly, and I don't usually get to watch any of these big celebration things that they put on, but I watched this one and it was so good. I was just on the BBC, just on BBC One yesterday. So if you've got an iPlayer, you can go back and have a little look at it. But I thought it was really well done. So I watched that. And while I was watching that, I wasn't actually stitching or anything because I was like actually watching it. So I lost a couple of hours there that I could have been doing things, and I didn't. I've got a little bit of sorting out to do. Those who watch me on very regularly will see I've got a slightly different aspect behind me today. While I was at work on Saturday, Richard moved everything around, so I'm sitting where the dining room table was. Dining room table's gone into the kitchen diner kind of thing. It's now got the dining room table back in it, and my dad's table, which came to live here, which is a much smaller table, has come in here. And what he's done, and I'm thrilled to bits, and I didn't ask, is he's given me a craft area. I have half the conservatory for me, and it's in a totally shocking state because I have not yet sorted it, but I'll give you a little, I'm actually going to stop the video and give you a little panorama just to show you what he's given me here, and you'll see the state of the stuff that I have not yet sorted out. But hang on a sec. So here's a lot of my stitchy stuff's in there. Coming round, there's my dad's table with a Nancy sitting on it. Here's all the stuff I've yet to sort away and put away. But look at this. There's Cosmo with socks on. But look, I've got sewing table with my machines. I brought a Kallax from my old house yesterday, which I can put all my stuff out on. So I'm going to have a table I can work at, and a sewing machine table. And Cosmo, looking all right. No tube sock today. His feet, instead he's wearing real socks. He's got proper socks on today to try and stop him to leave his neck alone. As you can see, it's ever so much better. There's my greenhouse, and you can start to see now the cucumbers and tomatoes. Where's my finger pointing here? Are really taking off. There's my beans, and there's my peas. There's my wormery and my potatoes. So everything's coming along really well. Wisteria's all finished flowering, and it's now just growing like crazy. And all down that side there, that's raspberries. So, but look, isn't this wonderful? So he's given me a craft area, which I wasn't expecting to get my own little area just for me. We spend most of our time in this room, apart from in the late afternoons when it is just too hot in here. It gets up to about 40 degrees in here. You know, even with the door open, if we've been out at work and we get in at 2, it's super hot in here. So got to get the door open, get it cooled down. But we spend a lot of time in here. Even in the winter evenings, we've hung lights on the beam so that it keeps it light in here for me. And my stitchy lamp has now arrived. That was the copper lamp. That's the lamp that's always been in my room. At the moment it's plugged in on the wrong side. It's not got a permanent base yet because I haven't yet decided which, because this is only just recently moved over this side like a week ago. I've not yet found my little spot. When I've got my little spot, I'll move the lamp and plug it in. There's plugs behind the sofa everywhere, so I can plug it in and put it one side or the other, but I'm not yet decided. So anyway, stitching. We finished off May, and I actually finished this in June, but good news to report is that Modern Folk Embroidery, the 2021, I appreciate it is now 2024, Sal, now has a completed May. And there is my May. I had January, February and March done, and now I have May. And I have gone slightly over into April and June, just a touch here and there, but May is entirely finished. So I'm really pleased with that May got done. I did finish it off yesterday actually, just the last little bit. So that's good. And my 2-colour thread drop is working beautifully. It's a wonky donkey one, which is why it's mine. And I have a 155 and 333 on a Be Stitch Me fabric called Punch. And that's my May done. And I'm very pleased, and I'm very happy to pop this away for the time being now. I don't know if I'm going to do the same thing again in a different month and pick it up and stitch the month in the month. It just struck me as a lovely idea to do for May. So that's going back into my drawer upstairs. This isn't cross stitch stuff. This is my crafting. So my bag making, my Fimo, my stamp needle minders, anything that I need to sit, spread out. Stitchy stuff, I don't want a stitchy place. I don't want a room I go and have sitting on my own. I want to be with Richard. I want to be with my kids. So I'm going to be probably here on this sofa. So I don't need a specific stitchy spot. I'll stitch anywhere. I'll stitch in my car. I'll stitch anywhere basically. But for actually setting my stuff up so that I can produce good quality things with everything I need around me, that's my space. And I'm thrilled to bits with it to have been given the space. I wasn't expecting it, you know. You got back from work and all my stuff was in like half a room, and I was like, oh, you've moved all my stuff. And then I went, oh, you've moved all my stuff. You know, at first I was like, oh, you've moved my stuff. You've touched everything. Everything's just been blobbed in a box, you know. So I need to sort everything out, but I'm getting there. So I haven't really made anything this week, and I'm collating up. I have made some things this week. This week I've stuck magnets on the back of all those thread drops I found. I finished them because when you cut the polymer clay out and bake it, that's not finished. You've then got to smooth it all off and make sure there's not a raggledy edge to damage any floss. So I finished them all off and I've magneted them up. So assuming the light's going to be good, the sky is blue, the light will come over in about an hour. When I finish my video, the light will come over and the light in here will be really lovely, and I'm going to photograph everything. So maybe late today, maybe tomorrow, maybe Saturday. Tomorrow is Saturday. No, tomorrow's Friday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. If you follow my Etsy, follow my shop, thread drops are going in. The big wooden thread drops, the last of those. And there's a couple that are really long that I'm going to cut down into like more manageable sizes. So they won't be going this time. They'll be listed separately. But most of the ones that I have left will be listed, and there kind of won't be any more of them unless I figure out how to. It's not figuring out. It's having the tools to actually make them myself. But we'll see. You know, who's to say in the future what I make and what I don't. But yeah, so if you do follow my Etsy, keep an eye out. There'll be dragons on keys, there'll be thread drop needle minders and thread drops. I found some old pictures of Maddie's, some paintings already on boards, little I think they're like 6x4s, a couple of original paintings of Maddie's which I'm going to pop on as well. My girls are going to be prolific over the summer, so they'll both, Lizzie will be 18 in 13 days, 2 weeks. Lizzie will be 18. Oh my God, how will I have 2 adult children? Anyway, so I don't know whether they'll open them their own Etsy's or whether they're going to come in on my Etsy. We'll see. But they're both going to be prolifically producing over the summer. So if you like my girls and my stuff, then hold tight. Anyway, that's my promotional bit over. I'm going to do some cross stitch in a minute. I've done a little life update. I just had to show you that he gave me a space. I mean, how marvellous. Right. But to be fair, the kids don't really use this room. None of the kids really use this room. This is really our room. Flora paints in here. I'm assuming Lizzie and Maddie will probably paint in here too. But there's a nice table for them to sit at. You know, there's space now where they can sit and paint, and it's by the door, so it'll be nice and open. Right, cross stitch. I've already showed you Modern Folk Embroidery. I already did a little bit of cross stitch. Right, so treasure hunt bookshelf. I finished my stitches for the month. Was a bit of a push last month, so still on with the 893. I'll put my 893 number up in this big white bit here, which is actually blue sky, but the way the light's falling. So I'm getting there with my 823. Unfortunately, I can't stitch with 823 at the moment. So maybe last time I filmed coming up here might be quite a big one because it was quite a big area. And I'm not 100% sure which bit I was stitching on. Maybe, can't see a thing. Can't see a thing. Yeah, maybe it was this bit here. Might have been that bit there. Anyway, all the 823 here, and I absolutely can't see what I've just held up. Here, the 823 is done. This bit here, the 823 is done. So I've moved over here and did the 823 that was there. Now, here is the bottom, and you can see the problem with the bottom is that I have not touched it at all. The bottom maybe third, maybe shelf and a half to the bottom. I haven't put a stitch anywhere near it. So to pick up, and the next lot of 823 is at least a page below where I'm stitching, where all these bits. You see here, I can jump that much down and stitch there. I'm not confident jumping down here, even though obviously I can count. It is gridded. What if I get it wrong? What if I get it really, really wrong and put in 30,000 stitches to find I've miscounted and they're 30 stitches out? That I couldn't cope with. That would be a real problem. Like, it would break my brain. So I'm currently on with the 310 because here there's a huge bit of 310 along this bit here, which is just below. Yes, it's just the top of the next shelf. And then down the side of a book, there's a very big, strong, I'm going to put up the Pattern Keeper bright green here to show you. I can do all of that 310, and that will link me up to the next shelf down, and then I can knock my pan in doing the 823 on the shelf below. So that's where I'm headed. So for now, I'm on with the 310 here, which I'm nearly run out of my little bit. Now my little koala, my little three drop is working really well. I'm very pleased. I wasn't sure because this is a prototype and it was quite close there, but actually, and of course because it's mine I haven't smoothed it off or anything, I just chucked a really, really poor magnet on the back, a really little one, because if it's going to be mine, I don't want to use my big strong magnets that I can put on something that someone else can have. So I just use on top of my magnet, on top of my my metal tray box that I got from IKEA, which is wonderful. I'm not too sure what it's meant to be used for, but it was in the stationery, like the stationery area. Perfect for me because it's metal and cork. The trays are cork lined. On top of that is all the crappy magnets that have had cabochons glued on them but have been too small, so they're either waiting for another magnet to be glued on to double the strength, or I just use them for me. So these have got rubbishy back magnets on them, so they're a bit wobbly, but they're mine, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, I'm talking crap today. So this is working really well. So long story short, I need to top up some 310. So I'll try and use up all this 310, and then I'll top up my thread drop, and then carry on. But my 823 here, great guns along here. Let's get on with it. Brilliant. I'm at 0.06 maybe. So I've started. I'm not even 1,000 stitches in for this month yet, but I'm getting on. I'm already doing little bits, and I'll get on with that by and by. There's some more silk there. I keep finding lengths of my opal silk and collating them together. I need to put this on a thread drop. Seriously, I need to. Why have I not done that yet? I'll do that later on. I've actually mislaid a whole skein of it. I mean, it's here, it'll turn up, but I currently don't know where that's the new skein, the one I showed you complete last week. I had to break into that because I've mislaid the skein I'd already broken into. But we won't talk about that just now. Well, we will, because I'm going to show you it. So, Jack Be Nimble. Keep trucking on my bookshelf. Jack Be Nimble is one of the much newer long dogs, which, if you've seen me before, I am stitching in a big long line, because to me it was a big long line. It wasn't a square with 3 columns. So I did I printed out the pattern. I cut the pattern out. If you look, you can clearly see I have cut the pattern out and I have arranged it where I want to stitch it together. This has had something spilt on it, which has bled, but it doesn't matter because it's just a guide for me to know that I'm stitching up to here of that bit, and then I'll find the bit of pattern where this crab is. I'll leave a couple of stitches at the top of this fish on the top of the boat, because obviously there's a fish on top of the boat, and then I'll put the crabby crab claws maybe 2 stitches up from there. Actually, what I'll probably do is bring the tops of these to the edge of the candelabra, and I'll stitch round this bit here to make sure it all fits, and then up we'll go, and that's a whole column. I'm going straight up that column to the top of this little anteater thingy with a trident on his head. So that's one whole column of the pattern, so I can just go straight up that column in the pattern, and then we'll do the fishies. Sid, do you want to go out? I just have to let Sid out. He's asking to go out. Won't be a sec. Right, Sid's happy now. Sometimes he likes to go out. So Jack Be Nimble. Last time I filmed, I was just kind of picking it back up, and it looked like this. That's my progress. So it's on a piece of 20 count gridded white Ada, which, as you can see, is no longer 20 count gridded white Ada. It's still 20 count, even though I literally dyed it, really killed it, absolutely, death by dye, to the point where it's got browns in it. And it's not got browns in it because I broke the dye, it's got browns in it because I incinerated it in the microwave. Less said about that the better. But here is my mottled. I was going for super mottled. Oh God, now Nancy wants to go out. Oh, Nance. Super mottled, 20 count. I bought a long skinny strip from Lakeside Needlecraft. In their sales section, you can sometimes get odd cuts. It was 30 centimetres by 140, I think. So the selvage goes up one side. So she's done a custom cut for somebody and this is the piece that was over. So these, she sells these off super cheap. This piece of fabric was like £4, white gridded. I was going to put the little dreamer's tree on it, which is the most wonderful Haid, which I have the pattern for. But then this came out and I hummed and I hard and I couldn't resist, and had the piece of fabric coming to do my little dreamer's tree on, which, let's face it, I really should put progress into my other full coverage pieces rather than start another one. Oh yes, I've just started another one. Did I not tell you? It's not a Haid. So anyway, this is the one I've picked up after putting down pointed fifth. I got to myself to a good stopping place on pointed fifth, turquoised myself out, but finished the turquoise I was on, and turquoised myself out. I picked up this. So now we're here. So this is 20 count, but I am stitching it 2 strands of silk on the 20 count, which is giving it a very full coverage, which I really like. One strand was just looking, just because it was white, was looking just a little bit weedy, and I wanted the full, fluffy, really punch you in the eye kind of coverage, which is what I've got. This is Opal. It's a Karen Water Lily. It's basically white without being harsh. It's got cream. It's got a little tiny bit of peach in it. It's ivory, maybe. It's just not quite bright white. It's really pretty, but that's, I wanted white, but not white, so that's perfect. I went to get another skein of it from Arts and Designs, and then I clearly bought the last 2 skeins of it they had, so I will be running out of this. I will be sourcing some more before I actually have to change to white. So here we go, that's where I am. And I'm really, really pleased. I still just need to fill in these 2 waves here. I need to get them filled in and then I can carry on up here. But I went up here, did this wonderful eagle with his crown, and there's a screaming windmill. Oh, here's my windmill screaming. I filled him in and now all I can see is a screaming windmill. He's literally screaming. Look at him. Is it because he's got an eagle standing on his head? I love these patterns so much. Ooh, coffee machine's turning itself off. So that's where I am. I'm perfectly happy getting on with this. I'm going to get on with this for a little while now. It's going to be pretty much the full length of my fabric, so it's going to go up and up and up and up and up and up. There's more than enough fabric to do it on, and that's the full width. That's the full width of it. That's basically the widest part. There's just one bit with the goldfish that's going to be as wide as this. Everything else is narrower than where we are along the bottom here. So that's that. Very happy with that. And then I started something new on the most disgusting piece of Aida I've ever owned. This is a piece of 20 count. Exactly the same as, actually these 2 fabrics are the same thing. 20 count, easy grid. This was a piece from the original start of the key, which I started on 20 count, 2/2, 2/1 on Aida, obviously 2 strands on Aida, and I couldn't bear it because it was literally a carpet. Because one, that was like the 3rd thing I started, and I was really poor at stitching then. I have the piece just for posterity. The little piece I did is about that big, but it's like that thick because I didn't really know how to stitch properly then. I was carrying every single. There goes Sid. Did you see how he just pulled himself up? He literally jumps and puts his paws up because he's such a huge cat. He can't just nimbly jump. He like throws himself and puts his paws up like this to grab on. He's off on his rounds. This fence is the boundary of about 4 different cats' territories. So a lot of cats come dondering around this boundary here. That's like the edge of several territories around here. We see lots of randoms coming along that fence. So I found the right size fabric in my stash. It is mingingly filthy. You know me, I don't care. It is a paper pattern. It was not, and I'm not gonna, I'd rather use a paper pattern than go through the rigmarole of taking a photograph of and uploading an experimental photograph PDF, blah, blah, blah. I'm just as happy using a paper pattern. Now, this is for Lizzie, but obviously not this birthday because it's 160 by 160 and it's full coverage. I thought it was a good deal smaller. I wasn't expecting to finish it in 2 weeks, by the way. Don't think I'm underestimating my stitching capabilities anymore. Overestimating my stitching capabilities. I used to think, I went through a phase of thinking I could stitch the Amazing Animal Kingdom in a year. Yeah, in my all I do is stitch all day dreams, I probably could. However, there's life, children, work, driving. Good job, I love driving. I'm in my car up that motorway. I've got my motorway down to 11 minutes. It's still 11 minutes, 6 times a day yesterday was enough. It really was. But that's how it is. I've moved a reasonable distance away from where I used to live. And I haven't quite finished off the bits of life up there. Like 2 of my girls finish school so soon. In 2 weeks we're done. In 2 weeks they're done. And then that cuts out after schools. I'll only be going up there to collect Austin, which is going to take, and to go to work as well, but it's work. Anyway. So, this is what I've done. It's not much. There's a good deal of white here. Look at this Ada. Can you see the coffee on this Ada? It will get washed. Don't worry. This is a straight into the washing machine job. I have had to. Having my mum's surgery is magical. It's magical. Look at this. I just surged on. One, I went round it. I still haven't gone round my treasure hunt bookshelf, by the way. That's been 2 years and I've still not serged the edges. I think the grime and goo on it has just sealed it up. But I just put on, denim was the first bag with material in it, had denim in it, so I just put on the side, plus it's nice and thick, which holds the Q-snap on nicely. But that's all I've done there. And it's pixely, but it's kind of meant to be pixely, which I kind of like. I'll put the picture up here of it. It's a swan in a background, and I've taken a screenshot of the shop I bought it from, which I'll put that bit up here because I've no idea. I just saw the picture and liked it. I got it on Etsy, PDF download. It was very inexpensive, like £2 or £3. Nice little picture. Came in. Absolutely not Pattern Keeper compatible, just not. It downloaded it and it went in and it decided that the whole pattern had like 12 stitches. So that was nice. Anyway, printed out my paper pattern. Paper pattern's good. I've done that much, almost nothing. There's a lot of the limey greens are the early DMC numbers, like 13, 14 and 15. So I made a small Arts and Designs order of these colours, a white, a 3866 and a 3865, just because 3865 and 3866 I've run out of and don't have in my master set. So I got those. So at the moment I'm currently making myself some, I'm putting all the floss onto drops, and that's entertaining me greatly. So yeah, I'm busy with that at the moment because I quite like, if I'm going to kit a project, weirdly, I kind of enjoying having them on a floss drop. If I'm stitching ahead, bobbins all the way. Anything over like 15 or 20 colours. I want the bobbins, I want my master set, which is usually within reaching distance of me. A couple of people have asked. Amazon. Just Amazon. Super inexpensive, like literally 7 or 8 quid for this box. I have 2 of them. Just Amazon. Fall down the Amazon like the rest of us. I also got 2 more Etoile 823s, which need to go in this bag with my long dog stuff. Oh, I must get on with this. It's there looking at me. Look, there's the floss, there's the background. I must get on with this and get it done. But 823 need in there. There's my Clay by Kim's in there too. That used to live on my blah 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 modern folk embroidery, but because the same lady who got me the Clay by Kim gave me the fabric and they went together, but because it was in my work bag I was really scared of damaging him, so he's in there just now to keep him safe at home. So that's my long dogs, my like 4 projects long dog bag there, plus this one which I need to finish. Haven't put any work into it, so there's no point showing you because I've not done anything. Right. So yeah, there's a new project. I'll kit my threads up. Yeah, so I was on Arts and Designs, which if you're in the UK or international, these are fantastic. Fantastic company. Literally next day you order it. If you order it in the evening, they dispatch it the next morning, you get it the next day in the UK. If you order it in the morning, they dispatch it the same day and you get it the next day. I don't think there's a company quicker in the UK for delivery. Brilliant. And have so much in stock. And the DMCs are 89p, I think. I think they're 89p now, which when they're 150 in Hobbycraft for an emergency I need 2 or 3, I'll wait till next day. They didn't have any more opal coral mortar lilies though, so I need to get some from probably Lakeside if they've got it, and if they haven't I might just treat myself to a piece of fabric. And I'm hankering Picture This Pluses. Every now and again I hanker after a bit of Picture This Plus. It's after I've watched Helen D. I hanker after Picture This Plus fabric because she's always using it and it's just so pretty, and I love the dwarf. The dwarf I love, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna be obsolete soon, so I'm kind of like, we should get some more. So if I can't get it from there, I'm going to treat myself and order some from America, and I will pay my VAT when it comes into the country. I don't mind. The VAT's no problem, right? If you order from the States in the UK, and I think it's mostly the same wherever you order, if you're ordering internationally, that's fine. I take the VAT on the chin. What I don't want to pay is a £12 processing fee for them to look at the back of the customs form and go, 20% of that is this. We need to charge her £4.27 VAT. Brilliant, no problem with that. We're going to charge you £12 for printing that form. What? Why? That's my issue. Anyway, I'm going to stop complaining, but I might just take my £12 on the chin. I did it to myself yesterday. I sent out a parcel to America. I didn't quite get it within the inch. If it's under an inch in thickness, it goes as a large letter. If it fits through the slot at the post office, it goes as a large letter, right? Mine didn't quite go through the slot, so what was going to be £4 postage turned into £12 postage. My fault, on my chin, done. It's on the way. But you know when you go, poo, just poo. That's how I feel about the customs charge. Not the VAT. No problem with that. That's a tax we all pay on everything. It's VAT. The tax that comes in on stuff you buy internationally. No problem. The fee? What? Why? Why did that cost £12? Do you know I could buy 12 DMC for that. That's my issue. Anyway, I'm in a bit of a rant. Maybe my coffee was too strong. Who knows? I'm going to drink a bit more of it. Anyway, so going forwards into June, I have my treasure hunt bookshelf. I have Jack Be Nimble. I've got some gaps in my rotation. Now I am contemplating hankering after the little thing that's caused all my recent Etsy, my key. Can I even? I can. The bedspread. The most enormous Kirsten Mills, because I always forget to say it's a Haid. You can still buy it. Jen's about to start it sometime soon. Jump on the bandwagon, stitch the key. It's beautiful. He's marvellous. I've got a lot of background wall to stitch. I'm here stitching in this colour. I might put some stitches into the key. It's easy stitching for me, and sometimes I need some easy stitching, so I don't know if I'm going to extreme cross country. I've done 2 extreme cross country. I finished the 823 and I finished the 310. I'm currently on this grey. It's 415 or 413 maybe. Anyway, I'm on a grey. This grey here, I think it's probably 318 actually, looking at it. Anyway, I might colour complete, I might not. I might put some stitches in, I might change my mind completely. So there's an idea for now. Do some key, and I need something that's not full coverage, that's not a long dog. So I'll have a little look-see in my, I thought I might pull out Halloween. Instead, I started that. We'll see what takes my fancy when I go and have a look in the, oh, excuse me, I just hiccuped, in my drawer upstairs where my whips are kept. Because I now have a drawer upstairs where my whips are kept. I'm trying so hard to be organised, but my brain automatically goes to chaos. It just goes to chaos. So I'm trying very hard to get things sorted out and put away, even though chaos wants to win. Chaos wants to win. Yeah, but I'm still finding lots of interesting things. Pointing note. Here is a little mouse. Little mouse. He was knitted some time ago. This is my own pattern. He is knitted in the round in one piece, and then his ears obviously aren't, but his body and his tail are knitted in the round in one piece. Now, I think he would look absolutely darling on top of a spool, on top of a drum, as a little pin cushion, as a little needle holder. I'm just going to put him on a little wooden base, just a little sliver of something, so that he doesn't rock and roll about, because I'm really fancying doing a little bit of knitting, but a little bit of knitting, so something small. So I found some of these. I found 3 of these squashed up in the bottom of an old bag that I'd made. He is, I don't know if you can see the fluff on him, he's Angora. So I bought this. This is hand dyed in Shetland, this yarn, back in the days when I knitted all the time, but knitted little toys. He's hand dyed Angora in Shetland. Yeah, I've had quite a bit of coffee. I've got the coffee tremble on. You can see my hands like moving there. Anyway, so I'm gonna put him on a little base, and I maybe fancy making some of these. And even if he's squashed, flat, sad, he only takes a minute to make him back the way he should be. because I found him squashed flat, and I literally looked at this little squashed flat thing and went, what is that? It's clearly knitting. I wonder what it is. And I picked it up and I gave it a little bit of a squish, and I was like, oh, it's one of my little mice. Because I used to knit little things from my own patterns so as not to get into a muddle with any copyright anywhere. I have actually, Alan Dart, who is a massive toy designer, he used to design for Just Knitting, a magazine in the UK that like anyone who knits used to get. It's like Just Cross Stitch. Actually, it probably is the same as Just Cross Stitch, but for knitters. He was their like in-house toy designer. I actually have his written permission to sell his finished designs as long as I credit him, because I emailed him, because he lives in Cumbria. He lives just down the road from where I am now, actually, very close by. Not that I'm about to go and harass him, but I emailed him a few years ago, not expecting to get a reply or anything, just to say, I really, 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 really love your nativity patterns, and I think I sometimes would like to maybe sell them. And he sent me back a lovely email, just like literally straight away, sent me a lovely email saying, it's absolutely fine, I don't mind it, as long as you don't like go into like mass production. By all means, make and sell my things, but credit me with the design, which I always would do anyway. So I actually have his written permission to sell his patterns knitted up, which I'm always like, I have permission to do that, which is lovely actually, because I haven't for years, but every now and again I sell a nativity set of his that I've made, so I can do that. But to avoid copyright, I used to make my own patterns. So this little mousey is mine, so I can sell him. Anyway, sorry guys, I am talking shit today. I'm just talking absolute nonsense. Probably time I should go. Something else I found was this old blanket, except it's not a blanket anymore. It's now back to squares. I made this blanket between having Lizzie and Maddie and Lizzie. So Maddie's 21, Lizzie's nearly 18. It's pure cotton. It's from the patterns, 2 pattern books that my grandmother gave me. My grandmother, who passed probably 5 years ago now, gave me. Debbie, not Debbie Bliss. Debbie Bliss, yeah, she worked with somebody else who I believe is also called Debbie. 2 different books, knitted squares for blankets. There's like cabled pretty grown up ones and silly ones like the beaded kiwi fruit. And they're all pure cotton. They're all about the same size. Unfortunately, my blanket was eaten by rats. Which literally sums up living in my old house. Literally eaten by rats. It wasn't, it was in the shed. For context, it was in the shed. And it was eaten by something. So we've taken it, Lizzie and I last night have taken it to pieces. And this one's a bit small, you say, you had to block them a bit. And this is old, this is like your old favourite floppy, it's been washed, it's been tumble dried, it's been used as a crawl blanket for all my little babies. Some of them are grown up and beaded beautifully. Some of them are cable with bobbles. And then you get a lemon. And then some beautiful wavy beads. And there's loads of these, literally loads of them. Here's some fish. And there's a watermelon. I mean, obviously there's a watermelon. And I knitted this such a long time ago. And then this has been washed so many times and tumble dried that the sequins have gone curly. But there's a sequiny one there. And I was going texture for baby, you know, little baby, something for them to feel. Beady hearts. Let's see if there's anything else exciting in here. So we took them to pieces And I think I'm going to have a good count up and see about maybe making some more, or just, I think I'm going to, there's fish but different colours, and buttons in a different colourway. And I've got all this cotton. This is just 4-ply pure cotton, of which I have an awful lot in the loft. I have a lot of every sort of yarn. But I thought I'd probably just do a few extras to make it a bit bigger. And some of them unpicked nicely and some of them have got little repairs required. We lost maybe 6 squares to rodent damage. But I think I can fix it up and make a new blanket. That one's hearts again. There's another zigzag beads, lots of knitted in beads. I got very into knitting in beads. There's an apple, a pink backgrounded apple, and a textury one. So I think one of the books was like grown up, like it's all reverse stocking stitch. So knit some pearls and a few beads. They're circles. I don't know if you can actually see them there, but they're all the same size. And it was a big blanket, and we lost about 6 of them to, yeah, little visitors. It had a fleece black backing, which I had to cut off. It had a beautiful knitted stripy border, about this deep, big, long stripy border, which had to go. I've released the beasts, so I'm going to put them in a box, tuck them away, and at some point in time, I think it's getting gloomier, not lighter, I'm going to maybe make a new blanket. But I think I'm going to knit bands. I'm maybe going to like knit and stitch them all, or maybe, for God's sakes, what am I talking about knitting? I'm going to crochet them together because that's just so much easier. In some instances, I love knitting. In some instances, crocheting rocks. Crocheting squares together is fast. So I'm gonna crochet. What was I even saying? I'm gonna crochet, like, but not just a narrow, because they were actually physically stitched together, so they were right up against each other. I want to maybe have an inch, maybe an inch and a half of border between them, and maybe just enough so that I can make a nice big blanket for all the manly grey furnishings in this house require. Right. Okay, I've got my 3808 sofa here, but everything else is very masculine. And I'm not going to change his sofas. I'm not going to demand, I require colour everywhere. I'm believing we're going to keep the walls really neutral. We're going to keep the furniture neutral. The furniture's fine as it is. You can see this is a really good serviceable item. It doesn't need changing. But it's raining. Okay, it's raining. I'm stitching today. I don't care. I'm talking to you guys. I'm talking absolute drivel to you guys. And then I'll be stitching. So I'm going to find another piece to stitch on. And I'm going to literally go one strand in there, one strand in here, one strand in here, one strand in here. And see how I get on today. Because I've not got a lot of other things to do today. Richard's on an early, he finishes at about 2. I don't have to do any more school runs. I'm on an early tomorrow, so I can't have the kids tonight because I've got no way of getting them to school tomorrow. And so I have a day to myself, which is heavenly. My girls will stay at my parents' tonight, my little boy's with his dad tonight. He'll get picked up when he finishes work. So everybody's safe and sound and where they should be. Flora's got another exam today. So far this week we've had Maths GCSE, and then that was Monday. Tuesday we had A-level Maths and Spanish GCSE. Yesterday was Geography GCSE. Today is English, Language or Literature, paper 2, one or the other. full on for them. And then Lizzie's got maths, Lizzie's got chemistry next week, followed by a maths exam, and then the following week she's got the last couple of exams. And Flora's just full on until she's done. And next week, end of next week, they're done. So that'll be that. Then the girls will be here permanently, so that'll be brilliant. And then into the following week, Maddie finishes, and then Maddie will be here. And then we've got a whole summer with lots of girl children here. And then we'll see. We've then got Flora going into sixth form, Lizzie, if she gets her grades, which I'm pretty sure she will, go to university in London. My baby's going to London to university. Oh God, I'm going to really miss her. And then we'll wait and see what Maddie does. She's currently thinking she might need some time out. Cambridge has been full on. It's bust her. So she might need some time before she thinks about a next step. But that's what we're here for. Anyway, guys, I've talked probably for an hour. This part of the video is 47 minutes. I know I prattled before I stopped it and restarted it. Oh, good Lord, what have I been talking about? Absolute nonsense. Anyway, I hope everyone's stitching's really good. One of these days, I'm going to come on and I'm going to show you all my stitching and I'm going to say, that's me, guys, toodaloo. And you'll be like, wow, that was just stitching. That's better. But people who watch me knowing that I'm going to talk nonsense for 3/4 of the video, because I do. Can you hear the rain? Okay. Make my peas grow. My peas are nearly at the top of the fence. My peas there are in flower and are nearly at the top of the fence. In fact, the very, very tall one is covered in flowers. That one just there is in flower. I'm talking crap. I will see you in about a week. Hopefully I will get some stitching done to show you, and the couple of weeks after that might be very patchy for stitching because we are full on. I've got a lot of hours at work and I've got a graduation to go to. So, and I've got a prom dress to make. So, need to get on with that. Anyway, right guys, I'm going to get going, do some stitching, sort my video. I'll see you soon. Take care of yourselves. Bye bye.